desde Las Vegas, Nevada. Iniciamos con el programa Hablando de bienes y raíces con Castillo y sus invitados. Comenzamos.
Good morning, Las Vegas. Here I am again. This is Castillo starting the show, el programa de Hablando de Bienes Raíces. We're here in ML Mortgage Studios. Again, we have two more guests. Today, the guest is going to be very, very special because she's an expert on a particular area here in town. So we're going to go ahead and get to know her a little bit better and get to know exactly what type of business she's done. We're gonna go ahead and start, and we're gonna introduce our good friend that she's already been in the podcast before. So we're gonna go ahead and start with Vicky. Vicky, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning.
How are you, Vicky?
Doing great.
Good. So go ahead and give me your name and the company you work for, please.
I'm Vicky Pridemore. I'm with ML Mortgage, which is right here, and I look forward to introducing my friend Rose.
Go ahead. Well, Rose, thank you very much for taking the time to come out here. I know you're extremely busy, but this is a great opportunity. So Rose, can you please go ahead and give me your name, the company you work with, how long you've been in the industry, and a little bit of background of your expertise, please.
Well, good morning, and I'm Rose Falaco. I am with HomeSmart Real Estate. We are a national company. I'm based here out of Las Vegas, and I work also out of California and Georgia.
Oh, okay.
I've been in the business 30 years. I speak multiple languages, French, Italian, and Spanish.
Oh, nice.
I am certified international, certified senior, certified probate, and certified military specialist.
Perfect. So we have a lot of topics that we could talk about with you because obviously you've been doing this for a long time and you've seen the market go up and down. You've seen, just having licenses in 3 different states speaks volumes because it's not easy to just have one license in one state, right? So having it in 3 states and literally you've seen the market shifting in different parts of the country and they're not all the same. They shift at a different time. Is that true or not true?
Correct. Pretty much, unless when we had the big fall, we had the fall everywhere.
Right.
But I started in Atlanta, Georgia, 1994.
Wow.
So prior to the Olympics there, and the city was booming.
Okay.
So we got that business over there. It was just great. It was just crazy. People were just coming from all over.
Right.
And then because of my late husband's job, I got transferred to California. So I got my license in California and saw that market pretty much up and down. And then moved out here 17 years ago. And boy, the dark cloud couldn't have followed me faster because it just tanked when I got here.
Right.
Which we never thought Las Vegas would go into recession.
Correct.
Everybody said Las Vegas was recession proof. But unfortunately, it was not. And so real estate got hit pretty bad. And people didn't know what to do with themselves because there was no business. So I thought, well, I got to eat. I got to feed my dogs. So the short sales and the foreclosures came into be. And I got certified to do that.
Right.
And that's how I kept myself going until the market picked up again. And then, of course, it did.
Right.
And we saw it boom up and down, and we saw the boom, actually during COVID, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Those were the best years of real estate.
It was.
I have to say.
I have to agree with you because, we've seen three times the market dip here in Las Vegas, right? And I always tell people the same thing. After September 11, the market shifted here in Vegas. Then our city commissioners decided we could not depend only in the hospitality industry. So we got to start looking at other revenue venues. And they've been doing very good job because now we have sports. We have all of these other venues that are coming in. I mean, F1 is about to start this afternoon.
Yes,
it's crazy,
exciting.
Right? Then we had the whole mess in 2008, which Vegas was one of the biggest impacted cities in the whole country.
Correct.
Then we had COVID, but COVID was totally different because even though it was a thing that impacted the real estate market, but impacted in a positive way because we had so many people coming from other states moving into Vegas. Well, now we see the repercussions of it where all these people now are getting called back because they were working remotely. Now they're getting called back and saying, hey, you need to come back to the office. And now we're going to another transition. But I wanted to go ahead and get your expertise on Lake Las Vegas. I know that you are a big agent that moves a lot of real estate in Lake Las Vegas. Tell me why Lake Las Vegas is so particular and why is it so, demand in there? Because I've been at Lake Las Vegas for a while, but I really don't know that market. And it's a totally different, can we call it a small little city? Is that what you want to call it?
So we market it as a resort because
Okay.
it really is a resort.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you know the history of it, so I'll bring you guys back.
Please.
So the lake started in 1988. That's when the dam was finished also, and that's when they built the lake. And then construction residential started in 1993, and that's when also the South Shore Golf Course started construction. So
Okay.
that's a Jack Nicklaus course.
Yeah.
So the community started way back in 1993 with some of the custom homes and some of the other different communities. So Lake Las Vegas is made up of different pockets,
Okay.
all other gated communities. So each one of them will have anywhere from 50 to 200 homes in there
Per community.
per community, correct. Plus it's got the village.
Yes.
The first two hotels that were in the village were the Hyatt and the the Ritz.
The Ritz.
Just lost I know, if you guys can go way back. So then the Hyatt disappeared after a few years. They just couldn't make it go, and it turned into the Westin, which has been there forever. They're doing a great job. The Ritz, sadly, they closed it down probably right around 2009, 2010,
Okay.
and it became the Hilton.
Okay.
So the Hilton's doing good. It went through its phases, but it became the Hilton. It's still the Hilton now. Sadly, the casino closed. That was a real fun place to hang out, was the casino. But it closed down and it's still not reopened.
Okay.
The village has gone through its phases of ups and downs. Their biggest highlight was when Andrea Bocelli came and played the concert live on the lake. If you can go online and get that, it was one of the most beautiful concerts.
I remember that
December
advertising.
2006.
I remember
Do you
the advertising and that, and
Right.
it was just, but a lot of people didn't know Lake Las Vegas even
No.
existed.
And that's when the lake boomed, because that advertisement was literally around the world. It was the beautiful commercial, which they showed Andrea Bocelli singing, and so everybody was just flooding to the lake. Well, unfortunately, when the market tanked, so did Lake Las Vegas.
Right.
But still, people were buying out there. So I was taking people out there, and they had started rebuilding again with the community that was on the Falls Golf Course. And God, you could get those homes for nothing back then.
Don't even say the prices.
I am not, because I will shock people.
Exactly.
I will shock
People would. Well,
I
actually, you know what?
cannot.
No.
I was doing foreclosures. I was with Chase at the time.
Oh, okay.
And we did the REOs.
Yeah.
And I remember some of those little condos you could have picked up for less than the price of a car.
Oh, seriously.
So you know what? Actually, I think it will be important for us to talk about that segment of the market because it's something that happened.
Do you really want me to say how much they were going for?
I would love that because
I bought one of those gorgeous homes.
Good, because I remember that when we were doing short sales, we were closing, 20, 30 short sales in a month, but the prices were $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 here, single story homes right there off of, Alta and Buffalo.
So yes.
So give me prices
the
at that period, please.
townhomes, sorry, excuse me. The condos that were right on the water or overlooking the water in the village, you could have picked those up for about $30,000.
Oh my goodness.
Which was insane.
Yeah.
Here's the thing that was high about those. The HOAs were about $700 a month at the time. So a lot
Like
of
$1
people.
a square foot or something?
Yeah.
Okay, so Vicky, when you were doing foreclosures in that period of time, you were seeing these price ranges as well, right? And you probably couldn't believe the quality of the properties that were there. I mean, lake views,
It's like a
adjacent to.
different world out there, and just to go out there for an evening to,
Right.
people, locals here.
Yeah.
But a lot of people just think it's so far out.
Well, that's the other thing, right?
it's not really.
So how much
It's not.
distance is from, let's say, the strip?
From the strip, it's maybe 20 minutes.
20 minutes.
Yeah.
But it feels like forever Because, when you used to drive out there during Lake Mead Boulevard, there was really nothing.
There was nothing there.
It was like Highway 60, right? When you're going to Pahrump back then,
Yes.
there was nothing. From Decatur, there was nothing out. Now you go
It's
all the way.
built up.
Now it feels
it's
a lot
all
quick.
built up, and it's right next door to Lake Mead. I
Right.
mean, down the street, not even 2 miles, it's Lake Mead. So
Correct.
you've got that
I
access
don't know how
there.
long it was before I realized it's not just Lake Mead, but you could take Galleria as well.
Yes.
Well, no, Galleria only opened, I want to say, what are we, 24?
Yes.
Maybe 2018, something
But that's
like
because
that.
of Candence, right?
Yes, they started opening because of Cadence.
Cadence, sorry.
But
Yeah.
at the time, it wasn't open yet. They just wanted another access into Lake Las Vegas.
Right.
Because it was just Lake Mead Parkway that came in there.
Correct.
But I have to tell you, so those condos were that cheap. The new homes that were being built on the Falls Golf Course, which was Harmony Homes that took over Pardee, that was the original builder. Those homes started at $300,000.
Oh, my God.
It's a joke on the golf course.
Okay, so now let's get to the reality of things.
So the
same
reality.
condo that you were talking about, that were $30,000, lake views adjacent
Yes.
and all that stuff. What are the prices currently now?
Those are anywhere between 120, 150. That's the condos,
Okay,
starting from the studios.
so now shock me with the homes.
And they go up. Now the homes, I will shock you.
Please.
The homes are 850 to over 900, depending on what they are. I've got one on the market now.
Yes, which
That
is
is 2,300 square feet.
the one on
Lago Turquino.
Lago Turquino, which I have here on the paperwork. Yes.
Yes.
So right now I'm gonna put it up in here, which is this one right here, Lago
Sure.
Turquino. So talk about this one.
Yeah, so this one is highly upgraded on the golf course. It does not have a pool, and that one is going for $850.
Okay.
So that's the difference in the pricing from back then. I'm going back to 2011?
Yes.
But
Which is
850 when you compare it to where
When
we're
you're-
from, LA, Thousand Oaks.
Yes.
Is
Oh, yeah.
You're living in
It's a
luxury.
bargain.
You feel
What
like
you're
in a
getting,
different
what
world
you're
out
getting
there.
is a bargain.
Now you're telling me how many square feet does this
This is
property-
2,300 square feet, 3-bedroom, 3-car tandem garage.
Okay.
And it's highly upgraded. If you can see some of the pictures, it's
Yes, I have them right
beautifully
here.
appointed on a beautiful, huge lot at the end of a cul-de-sac.
And what I see is that it is a single story.
Correct.
So you don't
Single-story
get
home.
a lot of single story homes built anymore.
No, because, land is expensive. It's become expensive here in Las Vegas. So builders would rather build up because air is free.
Correct.
And land is,
It's
the
expensive.
footing is expensive. So
Correct.
they are more desirable, therefore they are higher in prices.
Okay, so this property on Lago Turquino, how long have you had it in the market? And is it priced competitively? Well, for somebody from California,
Oh, absolutely.
It would be
It's been
something.
on the market maybe about 60 days, I want to say.
okay.
And, it's our normal market right now.
Mm-hmm.
I hate to say it is probably about 120 days on the market.
Yes. Well,
It's very slow.
you know what? I was looking at stats, and like about 7-8 months ago, we had 42 days in the market where the properties would sit there and then we'll get an offer. Then May happened, and I don't know what the hell happened in May, but May happened, and then all of a sudden it shifted.
Yeah,
And now we're
and
getting
it's still shifted.
Yeah.
So I want to give you just the stats on Lake Las Vegas, which will put it into perspective.
I will
And
love
this is not counting the new homes because they are building a ton of new homes, and some of the smaller new homes are starting at about $450.
Correct.
Believe it or not.
Okay.
Okay, but then you've got lot premiums and upgrades to features, so
Yeah.
all that.
So
added
you'll end
into
up
it.
spending $800,000 by the time you're
Probably
done.
by the time you're done. So you might as well buy a resale, right?
Exactly.
And they have no views. Those are the ones with no views, not on golf courses.
Correct.
So there is currently about 160 resale homes on the market.
Okay.
And I'm talking anywhere from 500,000 to 8 million.
Okay.
This is just single family homes. I'm not including the condos.
Right.
There's only been 30 in escrow
Okay.
in the past 180 days.
I believe that.
And only 40 closings in the past 180 days.
I totally believe that because
So-
I know that there was a stat that the LVR put out back in May and June, which said 52% of the transactions were getting canceled. And it was because people were getting either cold feet, they didn't know what was going to happen with
Interest rates.
the interest rates and everything. So a lot of people kind of held back and said, you know what, we're going to wait and see. Well, now the waiting is done.
Yeah, but they're still waiting, believe it or not.
But waiting for what? We already
I
know
don't
who.
know. That's what I'd like
They
to
all
know.
want the 3% rates.
They're waiting for those 3% rate, Vicky, to go down again.
But unless something majorly catastrophic happens during that affects the whole world, that's not going to happen anymore.
It's not going to happen
Right.
in my lifetime, that's for
People,
sure.
they got accustomed to 3%.
Yeah.
What these people that got accustomed to 3% don't know is that we had 18% interest rates.
Yes.
And the
Right?
3%
Yes.
from a
We're
from a
dating
lending,
ourselves.
Yeah,
of
we
course, we're dinosaurs.
We still bought. However,
bought.
the prices were lower then.
Agree.
Right? So now we've got, the higher prices of real estate. That's not going down.
Nope.
It's really not going down. I see some that are ridiculously priced.
Yes.
But some are pretty average,
Okay. So
market value.
so Vicky, you were talking about
Those artificial 3% rates.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody asked me the other day if I wanted to see them again, and I remembered most of the people I knew at the time were upside down, a buck abajo on their homes.
Yeah.
So we were upside down on our homes. Some of our families were out of work. No, I don't want to see those 3% again because it was artificial. It was the government artificially intervening in the market.
Well, they had to, right? Because
Yes, they did, and it worked.
Yeah.
I
Because
guess.
let's
It
remember.
worked.
Because
we're sitting
remember.
there, we're doing it great.
Because remember, 2008 killed the whole, and it wasn't just the real estate industry that killed. It actually kills the stocks, right? And
Well, it's everything.
right? But when that happened, then they came back and said, "Hey, you know what? We need to lower the interest rate. People are upside down. We don't want to continue with a massive foreclosure
That
because it
was
could
right
have
about the
happened."
time of Dodd-Frank too. I don't know if
Yes.
you remember
Yes.
that.
Dodd-
Okay.
yes,
Is that
yes.
controversial or?
We're definitely dating ourselves.
Yes.
Yeah, we are.
The dinosaurs.
That just shows
the
experience,
dinosaurs.
right?
Yeah, that's right.
It
Because
shows experience.
I had a couple of agents here that've been sitting in the they've been doing real estate for 2-3 days, and they don't know everything that has happened in the past. And yes, you know what? They're coming into a tough market because, like you said, now the properties are sitting in the market for 120 days
And
before
that's
they
still a
sell.
healthy market from appraisal standards. It's
Yeah.
under 6 months. That's a healthy market.
Right, and
Houses don't sell themselves anymore.
right, and in a normal
That's why we need you guys.
yeah, and in a normal market, Rose, we usually, get a raise in value between 4 to 5% in a yearly base. We've seen markets shift from 14, 15, 22% year over year. I mean, from last year to this year, the prices have gone up, and they're not going to come down.
They're not going to come down. No, they're not.
So the market within Lake Las Vegas, like you're saying, there's 180 something homes for sale. Right, 30 of them are in escrow right now. 40 of them have actually closed. So that means that there's still a lot of value up there. You just got to know what the prices should be. And one of the things that people don't talk about, and I know that maybe you're kind of appreciate this, is understanding what the dollar per square foot value should be. And I know you know this because you've been working in this area for so long. So what should be a normal, good dollar per square footage in a property?
Well, probably about 300, anywhere between 300, 350. I will tell you, though, the benefit of working with a realtor that is experienced and been in the business a long time. And I'll give you an example, and I think I told Vicky this. Just last week this happened, and it's very frustrating to seasoned agents like us and expert lenders like Vicky. On this particular home, I received an offer, and can I say from one of these lowball companies in town?
Yes, we could say that.
No
we don't want to
names.
mention any
No
names.
We don't want to mention any names, but it is very deceiving to the public.
But you know who you are because you're the
Yes.
one that wrote that offer.
So this person sends over this offer, 100,000 below list on this particular home, and wants $23,000 in closing costs.
Anything else they wanted?
Can we say commission?
Well, we say compensation.
Compensation.
We say
wanted
compensation.
3% compensation. Wanted
Nice
the seller
dinner
to
out
pay.
or something?
Right? So
Did they wanted the car in the garage as
I'm
well
sure
too?
they did. I think they
the
probably wanted the
Tesla.
furniture too, right? Everything. Throw in everything.
Right.
So I get this email, and of course, I take my listings very personally because
course.
that's insulting not only to my clients, but to me as well as my expertise.
Right.
So he sends over, he goes, I believe this offer is very fairly priced because I've added comps to it. So I go, look at the comps. They are comps from a totally different community
Right.
where the homes are under 2,000 square feet and priced at 650 to 700.
Well, yeah, that makes
If
sense.
you knew the
basically
area,
said-
you would know that because like South Shore is different than the others. And
Pretty much. But so I said pretty much in my email, I said, are you on the right planet that I'm on? And did you just get your real estate license yesterday?
Oh boy. Okay.
Okay, I mean, I'm sorry.
you
And
hurt his feelings?
oh, poor little snowflake, I must have. Because he emails back and says he's going to turn me into division. I said, knock yourself out. Go right
She's
ahead.
right
For
here.
what?
Come get her.
I know.
Go ahead. I'll give you the forms to fill out.
But let me
Right?
ask let me ask you a question because I think you brought up a really great point. When we're looking at comps, agents think Lake Las Vegas, right? It's a massive area, and they just go and say, "Hey, give me."
Go in a circle. I got lost out there
Right.
looking for a house.
But
once.
you said it yourself. There are so many communities within Lake Las Vegas that you have to be able to get your comps within that community. Because I know for a fact when people ask me for a farm package, right, and they say, "Hey, I need a farm package in zip code 89118 per se," I said, okay, what is it that you're looking for? Because in the farm package, I mean, each little subdivision has their own little price point.
Correct.
Isn't that correct?
But you want to know how easy this is? If you are an expert agent or if you've been trained properly by your broker, at the right training, or go get your training at MLS,
Right.
there is a very easy button to click that you put in the address of the property that you are looking at the comps for, and it brings up everything within quarter mile, half a mile to a mile. So why would you go and compare another community when I've got sales
Yeah.
right down the street from this home?
Correct.
And I know that it's priced correctly.
You got to know the area. That's all.
Right.
Well, there's a thing.
So I
And
sent
that
it to my
agent
seller.
did have to present it if they're
Of course, but they're doing their buyer a
but not to say
disservice.
I know
or
what it's worth.
They're either doing their buyer a disservice or their buyer is just
As
a
naive.
low baller. Well, I want to just call them opportunists. Let's just say
Okay.
that.
All right.
Opportunists like they are. It's like, oh, let's see if we can steal this house. Because
Right.
we still have people with that mindset.
Yes, correct.
Right? So, and their buyer was from LA. So I'm thinking, you're already getting a bargain from LA.
Correct.
Right? So I had to present it to my seller.
Hold on, before you go there.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
I know that you, as a real estate professional, you have to present every single
Yes.
offer,
Yes,
right?
correct.
Because that is your duty.
Correct.
Yes.
I want to know the conversation without any major
yes.
details, please, between you and your seller, because I think that would have been a
Get
very
your bleep
interesting.
button ready.
Gotta bleep 'em.
No, I won't say it, but you
no.
will picture it, right?
Okay.
So I send it over to my seller in an email, and my seller's daughter is a realtor in LA, so she gets it also.
Right.
So she's laughing. And she said basically the same thing. What planet did they come from? And I said, well, the realtor has a California number, so I believe he really got his license just yesterday.
Yeah.
And so the buyer too. So I said, well, they're from your part of town. And she goes, well, they're insane, number one. It's fine, I'll present it to my parents, but I know what the answer is going to be.
Right.
So she responds back, and it's all LOL, LOL. And she puts what her parents actually said. And I, well, I'm not going to be able to do.
Beep, beep.
I said, I would love. She goes, please tell them that. I go, no, I would love to, but I have to keep it professional.
Correct.
So I am not going to. So all I said was, here you go. Wrote rejected right on the first page.
Perfect.
And I said, I'm going to keep it professional, and I'm not going to tell you what my sellers really said.
Right. Which is really important, right? Because
Yeah.
we see right now a lot of agents that are buyer's agents that think that because the properties are sitting a little bit longer in the
bit longer,
market,
yeah.
that they could just come in and try to scoop it. And let's be honest, you know what? There's going to be that family. There's going to be that one seller that says, you know what? Yes, I'll take it. It doesn't matter, because each individual, transaction is depending on the need of the seller. If the seller has time and sit there for another 6
of them
months,
do.
right?
A lot of them do.
They're
A
not
lot of
going to
them
take
do.
it.
They're not desperate. If
Right.
the house is paid for, it's like they're selling the home for whatever reason. Maybe, lifestyle has changed. That's fine. That doesn't mean that we are going to destroy the comps and the value of the neighborhood to give it to you for 100,000 less.
Right. And-
we're just not going to do that. I mean, you will get the people that are not experts, and they will do
Right.
that. Oh, take it, they'll
And,
say.
and that's what I'm saying. It's because you're not an expert. You're just a real estate agent.
Right, they're just doing
Right.
that. They don't do their research. I spend most of my time doing research. People don't understand. They really think that realtors just get dressed up in designer clothes, with their designer cars.
Go get coffee.
Go out and show a property and make a big fat paycheck.
That's not what they do?
I work 24/7
Right.
because I do my research, but this is why my business is repeat and referral.
Correct.
This is why I am top 250 in my company alone nationwide.
Good for you.
And I've been top 500 in the Las Vegas market.
Good for you.
But I
Hard work.
do that. I work. I give them all the information. I go above and beyond because that's our job.
So-
this is the biggest
And to
investment of their
protect your
life,
sellers.
right?
Yes.
So let me ask you a question, Rose. Do you consider yourself a real estate agent? Or do you consider yourself a real estate professional? Or do you consider yourself a real estate advisor?
I am a real estate professional, advisor, educator, all of the above.
Perfect. And I
Because
love that.
that's what our job is.
And I love that answer because, we've just recently went through this whole thing with the lawsuit of the, compensations.
yes.
And I talked about this yesterday with two loan officers that were here. I'm like, what agent really pissed off that seller that said, I am not going to pay your compensation. And now we have this whole thing that, you have the buyer's broker agreement and all of this stuff.
Right.
But at the same token is that if everybody understands and they know your role, which is your role is to be to be able to, inform your sellers with savvy information, with data, so like that they make the best decision, then there should be not a problem. But then you have this type of scenarios where the agent comes in and says, oh, we're going to throw $100,000 low, and they're going to go ahead and take it, and it doesn't happen.
I'll tell you what it probably was. It was probably one of those agents that they are those 1%ers that just take your listing, put it in the MLS, and don't do nothing for you.
Right.
And so you think you're saving, but you're not saving
Right.
because you're not getting any service for that.
Correct.
And they keep it on the market and then they keep making you drop the price. So you are leaving so much money on the table.
Correct.
Which is just not fair to the rest of us who take our business seriously, like me.
Right.
Okay, like these part-timers. I literally walked into Victoria's Secret last week and she says, are you on our email list? I'm at the register. Are you on our email list? I said, I don't know, check. Well, let me check. I said, okay, I gave them my name, Rose at rose4realestate.com. She goes, oh, I'm in real estate too. I go, you are?
No,
What are you
you're
doing
not.
behind the counter.
Right. And
Paying their bills.
I'm like, I'm so sorry, but
Yes.
that's like, I don't want to see my surgeon pouring drinks at the casino because that
Right.
doesn't give me the confidence that I need that he's my surgeon. Because where are you? If you're my realtor and I need you now to respond to an appraisal issue,
Accessible, be
you're
accessible.
you're punching the register at Victoria's Secret.
Right. Well, you know what? I'll tell you something real quick. I have the opportunity to attend Latitude, the NAREP conventional in Las Vegas and in San Diego. And one of the sessions had the attorney for NAR, for the National Association of Real. He was there present. So I said, I'm going to make sure I show up to this session. I walked in, there was maybe 20 agents in there.
I would have loved to have been there to ask him some questions.
Oh, and you know
'cause
what?
He didn't do us a service.
Well, I'll tell you the reason. I tell you what I took from there. And he said, look, you know what? I know a lot of people think that I didn't do my job, but let me tell you the reason why we settled. He said, we hired Harvard University to run a survey for us. We surveyed 1,000 brand new homeowners within 30 days from the
Closing.
From the closing. When within 6 months of our trial coming up, he said, and we asked them 3 questions. Question number 1 was, how many hours do you feel that your agent works in a whole transaction? Right? And the overwhelming answer was they probably work 15 hours maximum in a 45-day closing, right? Second question, did you know that your commission or compensation that we have to call it now was negotiable? And 99% of them said, no, nobody ever told me that. And then the third question was, what was the biggest complaint for your real estate professional? Said they never answered their damn phone. So he's sitting there and saying, look, not that I didn't want to do my job, but when you have an actual survey that the consumer has this, I had no choice but to settle because it wasn't my job to protect you guys by telling and letting the consumers know exactly what you guys do. Rose, you don't work 15 hours in a transaction. You work a lot longer.
I work anytime. Like if they call me, I pick it up. Or even if it's an email at 10 o'clock, I'm in bed, I'll respond to it.
Right. But it's not just that, right?
Which is not good, probably, because then they think that they can call you 24/7.
Correct.
Right?
Right.
But these realtors that on their phone say, I answer my phone 9 to 5 only Monday to Friday.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Or, you know what, the one I love the best is, for a faster response, please send me, you don't respond in a text
But
either.
on a side note about NAR, I will tell you what that attorney did not say, and I wish I would have been there because I would have answered this. What was told to us, the comparisons they used for negotiable of our compensation was the format that they use in Australia, where we are not Australia. The realtors get paid in Australia from the broker. Then they get a commission. We don't get that. And secondly, why is everybody in our pockets as realtors? We go buy a car. They make way more money than we do.
Yep.
We never ask them to cut their commission. We never ask them to show their commission. We go to an attorney. An attorney doesn't put it out in the public how much money he gets paid. A doctor doesn't put it out in the public. Why is it that they're always after us realtors' pockets? I work so hard for my money.
They see the cars that you drive. They see
I don't
you.
drive a fancy car.
I'm not talking about you, but the consumer, that's... And the money could be coming from inheritance or from another job
but
in
the
the house.
rest of us work really
but that's what
hard
the
for what we do.
consumers see that.
But
why
it's not-
didn't they interview those? Why, they should have called me. I would have sent them my clients.
Yeah.
They would have told them how hard I work.
But see, the problem is this, right? The consumer they see this as a regular period of a transaction. Rose, you call me and say, hey, JC, just wanted to let you know that we scheduled the appraiser tomorrow between 2 and 4 in the afternoon. Make sure you have the check. Have a wonderful day, and click. And they think that's all you did. And in the meanwhile, you're working in the background, making sure that the deed is correct, that the CC&Rs are correct.
Everything.
That everything.
There's a lot they don't even know.
That's-
Is it a condo or a townhome?
They don't know. They don't know
the
this,
title.
and it's our job to give it to them. Look, one of my buyers, we're working on a deal right now. He texted me and said he wants to know what the height of the garage is. So I'm like,
And then you got to go and measure.
I had to call him up and I said,
From the ladder.
I am just curious.
Why?
Why do you want to know the height of the garage? Well, he's logical. He says, well, I have 2 collectable Corvettes.
He
and I
wants to
wanna
put a lift.
See, you know.
Oh.
I didn't know this.
No, but you know what? It makes sense. So
Right?
honestly, Rose.
So you go do this for your client.
Correct.
Right?
Right.
Because he's out of state, out of city, I mean.
Right.
And you go do this.
Yes.
But that's the things we do.
Right.
Now, if I'm standing behind a counter making $10 an hour, punching the register, Victoria's Secret, do you think I can go do this for my client?
Negative.
No. So that's a disservice. These people should not have their real estate license. I'm sorry. I get very passionate about this. Because it is my full-time job.
Right.
I took an oath.
Right.
30 years ago, and I am living that oath today, that is my job
Right. Well, but
to
that's
do for my clients because that is their biggest investment in their life.
correct. And this is the reason why you have been top 250, top 500. You're still in the industry. You're dominating the Lake Las Vegas market. I mean, I don't know a lot of real estate agents that have 2 or more listings in Lake Las Vegas. You have 2. You have
Well, I've got 7 total right now in the whole valley.
okay.
So I don't know how many people have 7 listings.
Right, but in just Lake Las Vegas, you have 2, which is
Yes.
you have 6 Lago Turquina.
Which is probably the least I've had in a number of years because people aren't moving
What's the
right now.
other
That's the other
property?
thing.
and
You
the
have
other
another
property
property.
is 85 Luce del Sol.
Yes, that is
So
a beautiful
talk to
villa.
me about that
Okay,
one
I'll tell
property,
you about
please.
that community.
which is this one right here. I just put it up in the
So
screen.
they're
Yes.
both in Lake Las Vegas,
They are
but they're
both in Lake
different
Las Vegas,
communities.
but 2 different gated communities.
Okay.
So the first one is single-family homes. This second one is villas, we call them. They are not townhomes. And the reason they're called villas is because each building has only 3 units in them.
Okay.
They have the ground level, the middle, and the penthouse at the top. This listing happens to be the penthouse.
Okay.
And they all have 2-car garages and an elevator that opens up just to their unit.
Oh wow.
So they are villas very much like villas in Italy. If you've been to Italy, a lot of the condo units in Italy are built that way,
Really?
where the elevator just comes up to your unit.
And you
Wow.
visit Italy.
I do because I have family there, and I'm Italian, so
Yes.
I go there at least 2-3 times a year.
Right.
Yes.
Okay,
So this villa is highly upgraded and designed by a designer. The original designer designed it when it was built. It's got the real Venetian plaster on the walls, travertine everywhere.
Right.
And it's absolutely drop dead gorgeous with views. And
What's the price on it?
it is going for $890. I think I have that one at $897. $890.
I have it here at 890. So 890.
$890. That's it. Yeah.
And it's 2961 square feet for a
Correct.
villa,
And
which is huge.
It's beautiful, and the way it's laid out is each bedroom is independently of their own, with their own bathroom, plus another guest's bathroom for the guests.
Very cool.
Yes.
Very cool. So, it's really important, again, right, to be able to know your market, to know your area, first of all, and then second of all, to be a professional, to make sure that you price this to sell. You make sure that, you're doing a service to the listing portion of
Seller,
it,
correct.
to the seller of it, right? And then also, you need to educate the buyers when they come in and they want to lowball you guys
Correct.
in the offer. And I know that that's a sort subject, but it needs to happen, especially now more than ever, because we're going to have a lot of people that think that the sellers are desperate, and they're not. If you have a villa, I'm sorry, but if you have a villa in Lake Las Vegas, you are not desperate for money, right?
No.
I know. I just go out there and I'll feel like I'm wealthy just
So
having a
I will
coffee
tell
in the
you,
village,
so most people in Lake Las
But it's
Vegas,
a nice vibe.
It is their second or third home, some even their fourth home around the country.
Wow.
They buy just because they have that accessibility. God bless them that they can do that, and they can go there. Oh, I want to go to Lake Las Vegas this weekend. Great. I've got a place in Lake Las Vegas. I'll go hang out there for a little bit.
Perfect.
So yes, people are not desperate there.
No, they're not.
And the community has currently about 3,000 homes,
Wow.
and they're building more. So we don't know the stats of the new construction.
Correct.
But, at one time they wanted to put 10,000 homes there.
Wow.
But then they said no, because that
Okay.
would be overpopulated.
Now, talk to me about, obviously we have some very high-end properties there. I mean, I've seen a couple that are like right on the lake. You said that the price range there, it goes from, single-family resident homes from, maybe $500,000-$600,000 up to $8 million. What has been the biggest, sell within Lake Las Vegas? Is that an $8 million price, or we've seen a lot bigger?
I believe it was probably $9 million about a couple of years ago.
Okay.
And now they are building new ones right on the lake. Those are going around 4 or 5 million, depending on the upgrades.
Right.
They are down way past, if you go to the West End, they call it the island. So way past
I know
that,
where
the
it-
island. But the other very high end is South Shore, which
Okay.
is guard gated. And they have the little golf villas. So there's a little interesting story about those golf villas and
Okay.
how those started out.
Okay.
So when South Shore Country Club was built, because it was a Jack Nicklaus course, a lot of people wanted to be a member there, but you had to live there to be a member. Well, a lot of people were not going to give up their homes somewhere else to live there. So ironically enough, they built these little golf villas, which were maximum of 1 bedroom. Some were studios, and people were buying them just so that they can,
Say they could live there.
yeah.
Wow.
And they probably never lived in the place.
Right.
They maybe just went and took a shower when they were at the country club.
That.
You know?
And they just had a place to park their golf cart. Pretty much.
Exactly,
can
and
be in
that
South
and that
Shore.
too. Yeah.
Right.
So, and then it went from the custom homes up,
Right.
from there.
Okay, now we're gonna talk a little bit of a touchy subject that might impact or might not impact, and I am not aware of this, but the water in Lake Las Vegas, the water in Lake Mead, will that affect at one point Lake Las Vegas?
So I am going to tell you the myth about the water.
Please.
And I heard this right from our illustrious mayor, Goodman.
I think I know the quote.
We were at a function not long ago, and somebody asked him about the water. And he's been retired now.
Correct.
God, since Carolyn's been in his position. And you know what he said? Where there's money, there's water. And it is so true.
I remember him saying
And
that.
it is a myth. It is a myth because our water, if you would know how much water goes to California for BS stuff, and how much of it goes to Mexico to save one species of bird. I don't remember what the bird was, but you could probably look it up. It was online a long time ago. They may have hidden it now.
We've exceeded our drought
So
conservation.
we apparently have, I'm going to tell you, these are stats that we have enough water for the next 200 years.
Wow.
So it's all a myth, and probably to raise our water bill.
Yeah, probably. And one of the things that I've known is that, we use less than 2% of the water from
Exactly,
Lake
ours
Mead.
gets all recycled.
Right. Second of all, our water conservation program has been in place for the last 20 years.
And we've done amazing.
Everybody is following what we've been
Over
doing.
and above.
Right, and
Yeah.
but you want to know what a little bit of a downfall of that is? They are trying to make everybody turn this into a desert with no grass, no greenery everywhere. Well, let me tell you, that's what's causing our temperatures to go up.
Yeah, agree.
Okay, we need the grass, we need the oxygen, we need the trees. Everything is dying. In my
birds need
neighborhood,
And let me throw a curveball on this one. I just found out that the grass that they're installing, right, which is the
fake
grass
plastic?
and the plastic grass and everything, within 10 years, it's going to be, they say that it has a 10-year lifespan. Actually, here in Las Vegas, it probably has a 5 to 7
sure,
years.
because of the heat.
Because of the heat. I mean, there's so many other things that are kind
And
of
try
come up.
putting your feet on that. Did you ever get close to any of that?
It's-
The heat that it radiates.
Listen,
Don't
trust
let
me.
your pets go on
No,
there.
listen,
Oh, it's horrible.
My kids play soccer, and when we go to KC during the summer when it's tryouts, it's 118 degrees on the turf.
There you go.
So it's not what it's meant. What it's
No,
been.
they need to stop worrying about.
There's plenty of water in the ocean. And
Yes.
as a little kid, and this is years and years and years ago, we were taught the facts about desalination.
I was just going to say
Right.
that.
And
Yeah.
I asked a city water official recently, is that ever, the technology's there? And back to the money. It's a matter of just like the bullet train.
Who's going to invest?
Who's going to invest in it?
But California has that kind of money.
the
They got the
ocean-
resources.
But
They should
who's
be
going to
doing it.
make money
Yeah.
off of it is the
Well,
question.
So I know two things from Lake Las Vegas. The one of them, yes, the water in the lake is beautiful, but that lake never really served our purposes. It was just more like for us to enjoy the lake
Just
and
to
have
enjoy the lake.
to have a
Yes,
nice place to
it's
have
there.
some water. And then second of all, which it does impact us, is that water turns our turbines, which creates electricity for us, right? And that's the only thing that might be able. But with all the solar panels, if you haven't driven now here in Boulder City, the solar panel farms that they have created, it is incredible. So they're already thinking, we're not going to depend on the Lake Mead to turn the turbines to go ahead and
Correct.
create electricity. We really don't depend on that water. So,
No.
like you said, when there's money,
There's
yes,
water.
That's
That's exactly it.
if not,
And they've done
if not,
studies.
Dubai would not be part of the biggest growing city.
There
in
you
the world.
go. And they've done studies on this. So whatever they tell us, oh no, we've got to preserve our water, we're running out of water. We're not.
Right.
We really are not.
Right. So again,
So we're not concerned.
good. Well, no, which is great because again, right? You have
Keep
a lot of
coming,
people.
keep
Well,
coming.
because
Yeah.
you have a lot of people that are like, you know what? Well, why am I going to
Because
buy
they
a
hear
house?
this in the news. And so, but see, somebody who's uneducated
Right.
and doesn't do their research can't tell them the answer. They'll say, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, you're right. The water is going to disappear, right?
The water's
But
gonna
at the end,
disappear.
but at the end of the day, right? Having the right professional, having somebody that knows exactly what's happening in that in that market. Like I know Lake Las Vegas is their own little community. The Village. Let's talk about the Village. I know that they have created a lot of great marketing plans for the community to come out and spend Friday nights and Saturday
Yes.
nights in the Village. So they really don't even have to come to the Strip anymore.
They don't. And a lot of the people that live there, they really don't go to the Strip unless they want to go to the casino.
Right.
That's why I say when we had the casino out there, and I lived out there for over 11 years.
Right.
The casino was great. We'd all hang out there and you eat dinner there and everything. So the casino is a little bit of a downfall, but you can go to the Henderson casinos. They're close by.
That's true. Are there
South
any
Point is
are there any plans for them to reopen the casino at this point? Have you heard anything yet, or no?
Not at this point,
Okay.
and I'm going to tell you the reason why.
Okay.
What I've heard, what we were told is the owner who bought it, who bought the Hilton,
Correct.
bought the casino.
Right.
He does not have a gaming license.
Oh,
And because he is not,
part of the club.
no, he is not a legal resident, like a
Oh,
resident alien,
yes.
he cannot get.
Okay, that makes sense.
So I've heard that other conglomerates have offered to manage it. I won't say the names.
Right.
And he has refused.
Okay,
So it
but
remains closed, unfortunately.
do you think that maybe that's a strategic plan on him to make Lake Las Vegas a little bit more, less Vegas more lifestyle? Because I understand that living in Lake Las Vegas is a lifestyle change.
It is a lifestyle change. We don't know that. I will tell you, there's a lot of, the conventions that come to town, they will go out there because they don't want their people gambling.
Correct.
But let's face it, people come to Vegas to gamble.
Yes. Well,
that's the fun part of it.
Well, this is the one thing. When they had the Super Bowl here a couple of years ago, both teams stayed out there because they wanted to make sure they stay focused.
That's right. You better believe it. They were out there, and they put them out there. They still do a lot of that. But I don't know. Will it ever come back? Is that their plan? They don't want the casino.
Right.
I don't know. I know that having the casino there
was a plus.
Was a plus, being that I've traveled all over the world, and we had.
And Lake Las Vegas is a lifestyle change.
It's a lifestyle.
If you're looking to get more information about Lake Las Vegas, where can they reach you at, Rose?
They can reach me at my cell number, which is 702-767-6993.
All right, can we go ahead and do that one more time, a little bit slower, please?
702-767-6993.
Perfect.
Or my email, rose@realestate.com.
Very cool. And this is really important because, again, having an expert in the area is awesome. And I know there's expert for Summerlin and Green Valley and Henderson and, even East Las Vegas, we have experts. But Lake Las Vegas is another world. We're 20 minutes away from the Strip. Just the drive there decompresses you from the day-to-day mandingo that